My name is Angela.
My name is Nicole.
And welcome to the Ominous Stitch podcast. Hello, Stitchers.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Ominous Stitch podcast.
Woo, woo.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Happy May.
I love May.
Well, it's your birthday month. Happy birthday month, Nicole.
All month long.
Yeah.
It's the best month ever. No, you know what's funny? I love May, but I love fall more. Because I love fall weather and spooky season. So.
Yes, I do too. I love fall weather. I love spring weather because it's kind of like fall because you never know what you're going to get. Yeah, it's a transition. So we like the transitions.
We do.
So fall is my favorite time of year as well. Mm-hmm. It's also my birthday.
Yeah, that's right.
My birthday month. But yeah, I love the transitions. You never know what you're going to get, especially here in California. Everyone thinks that California weather is the same.
No,
it's not. It changes a lot. And
it's very moody.
It's very moody, especially in the spring because like, for example, this week we've had, 80-degree weather and then all of a sudden like it's going to snow in the mountains this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because, today it was all misty and like foggy and stuff coming in. Mm-hmm. So we do that. We get like misty, we get rain, and it will be in the 50s and 60s. Some days the temperature will fluctuate from like being in the 30s or in the 40s in the morning to like 80s in the afternoon.
Right.
It's weird.
And
like
in
people
June,
always
it
think
does that
it's
even
the
more.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just keeps doing this until June.
And then June gloom comes and then it's foggy in the morning and then hot in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But I love that.
I do too. I love it.
Yeah.
I love this weather. It's
you
so
get
much fun.
A variety. And especially this winter has been so wet. Everything's really green now.
Oh, tell me about it, girl. So welcome to my stitch, right?
Yay.
Okay, we're diving in for stitches. Okay. So the one thing that I hate about spring is that it is weed season.
Very much so.
And we have to clear all the weeds before a certain date. I think we might be around that date. It's sometime in May or beginning of June. You have to clear it all for fire season.
That's right.
And so I've been working hard, and because it's been so wet, we have so many weeds on the side of our
big bushy weeds.
So we have kind of, our property's kind of divided up into two sections. Because we have this little like river, but it's not really, I call it
a stream or.
Well, yeah. So it's a runoff. It's a runoff from the hillside and the mountains. Whenever we get a heavy rain, it does fill with water and it goes out to other outlets.
Which is cool.
It's cool. So we get this like little stream and it's fun, and we call it Clayton Ravine.
That's right.
For all the
Back to the future
people out there. Yeah. So it's Clayton Ravine. We do have a Clara Clayton who is a gopher snake who hangs out in the ravine during the summer.
I love that.
And she's so big, but and she just, hangs out in the ravine, and we love her. We're like, Clara's here. Yay. As long as she's not a rattlesnake, we're happy. But yeah, yes. So Clara will hang out and like eat all the gophers because we have plenty of them. But on the other side of the ravine, we have this big hillside, and then we have, our big garden, and all of our chickens live over there in our barn. But that side of the property isn't used as much as the side of the house and the backyard and where all the alpacas are and all that stuff. So that side kind of will get neglected from time to time. And because of all this rain, and it's a hillside, we got to clear it. And there's so many weeds. And so I spent the entire week clearing a good portion of that. I'm so proud of myself.
It's
I know.
Amazing.
Nicole got here today. I'm like, come see what I did. And, it took me the better part of the week. And, after much rocks kicked back and hit my legs, and, rocks to the face sometimes too. So I wear a face shield because I still like blink whenever because it hits my face. But I have a variety of weed whackers. And my favorite is this. It's like a lawnmower, but it's a weed whacker. And so, but you push it like a lawnmower. And it just clears everything so fast.
That's so cool.
Weed whacking is amazing.
When you have the right tools.
Satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, for me, when I think about weed whacking or weeds, is going old school and having to pull them by hand.
Oh my gosh. I used to do that. I used to try to do that. Like after rain, I'd run out because the ground's soft.
Yes.
I'd run out and try to pull all the weeds. There's too many weeds. So we have like a lot of wild mustard, which the bees love. So it's okay to leave that out there for a little while because the bees love the flowers and stuff. But yeah, you got to get rid of that. And
they're huge bushes.
They're huge. Yeah. They're huge. When they grow, they just they get really tough.
Yeah.
So some of those I do have to cut because the weed whacker just can't get it. Or
That's
it just
crazy.
I want to save having to keep putting new ties on the weed whacker. So because like
so gone,
it wears them down.
Oh no.
So I'll go out there and just cut them down I have this scythe and I'll just whack them down.
Nice.
We also get a lot of wild barley. That's really satisfying, but that's what gets stuck in your shoes. She's walking out there and she's like, what is all? I'm like, that's the wild barley gets stuck in your shoe.
I was telling her we get that when we go disc golfing because it's like, it's wildlife out there and they don't do a lot to it. It's always in my socks and shoes.
Yeah. So it's satisfying to knock down all those weeds and get rid of them. But I was doing that the other day. And let me tell you what I saw in the sky, guys. You won't believe it. I saw a UAP in the sky. Woo! It was crazy. It was crazy.
And what'd you see? Why is it a UAP?
So it caught my eye. It was this silver thing. And I was like, okay, a plane. And it was like just really shiny. And it was silver. And it was going faster than planes usually go when they fly by my house. It was going really fast. And I was like, well, that's kind of fast. So that's why I stopped to look at it. And so I stopped whacking and then I was watching it and it was going really fast. And then it just kind of stopped
in midair
and just hung out. And I was like, holy crap, what is going on? And then I started to like fish from my phone because I was like, I'm going to document this. Even though it just looks like this like silver thing just in the sky. I mean, it looks like, it kind of looks like a plane. Like if you're looking at the sky, you see that silver plane, but like it was far enough away, or maybe it wasn't a plane. I couldn't see the wings or the tail. It just looked kind of like the body of a plane. And then, but it stopped and I was like, why did it stop? Where is it going? Like what, how? And so I was looking for my phone. And by the time I got my phone, because
where's my phone?
I do the mom purse thing where you stick it in your, you stick it in your sports bra. So I was like pulling it out and I was getting it open and then it was gone. It wasn't there anymore. I was just like, what
creepy.
Happened? It was creepy. Weird, man. It was so weird. I was like, I can't wait to tell Nicole.
It's a UAP.
It was the craziest thing. It was
broad daylight. Yeah.
In broad daylight. And it was going faster than what planes usually fly, because like
you can tell.
You
see them all the time.
Yeah. It was going much faster than that. I was like, ooh, what's that? And then it stopped. And I was like, why is it? How?
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was crazy, Nicole.
Very cool, though.
Yeah. And I'm sorry I didn't get a picture. It was just gone.
Always how that works.
Right?
Yeah. No evidence.
No evidence.
Dang it.
But anyway, I thought you would like that story.
But I believe you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have no reason to lie about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy, man.
That's spooky.
It was really spooky.
Well, cool.
It was really cool. I was excited. I didn't feel freaked out. I was just like, oh, I was mad that I didn't get a picture, but it was, well, I mean, if I took a picture, it'd be like
blip in the blue sky.
Yeah, I should have videoed it, right? Be like, oh yeah, the blip in the blue sky. But if I videoed it, that would have been better. I should have videoed it, but it doesn't matter because
it was so
wasn't
fast.
It wasn't there. It was gone.
Yeah.
Oh, so weird, man.
I love that. Spooky.
So that's my stitch.
Love it.
What's got you in stitches?
Oh, you're gonna love this.
I know. I'm dying because she's like, you have a choice between this or that, and I'm like, both.
She wants both.
Yeah.
I love Tiki Talk, guys. You know that, and my feed is insane.
Yes. Yes.
So the first one I want to go into. Do you remember we watched Dr. Sleep? Right, that movie it's a Stephen King book.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny goes to work for a hospice or a old person's home.
Okay.
And there's a cat in this. Do you remember that? There's a cat in the home, and the cat would go into the residents' rooms that were about to pass away. And just
hang out and like,
and then so Danny would
comfort
do too.
them.
Yeah. And he would go and talk to them. Yeah.
Because okay.
This is
yes,
real.
Yes. What?
This is real. So in 2005,
kitty.
a nursing home in the U.S. got a 6-month-old kitten named Oscar as a therapy cat.
Oh, Oscar. Hi,
The staff soon
kitty.
noticed something unusual about him. So you scroll through and it says Oscar often liked to be by himself, but sometimes he would go and lie next to one of the residents. Strangely, the resident he chose would often pass away within a few hours. At first, the workers didn't think it was important, but after it happened 20 times, they started to think Oscar knew when someone was going to die. So they began to call the resident's family if they saw Oscar with them.
Oh.
Some people think Oscar could sense certain smells from dying cells, and that's why he went to comfort residents who were alone. There was even a time when the staff thought one resident was going to die, but Oscar stayed with a different, healthier looking person who then died first.
Oscar knows.
Oscar lived until 2022 and was right about more than 100 deaths during his life.
Oscar. Oh, I love him so much. But yeah, cats can sense when something's not right.
Yes, animals can. They smell it. Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like if a cat will come sleep with you and protect you if they feel like you need it. If they feel like you're in danger, or if they feel like something is off,
they come to you.
They come to you, and so if Pumpkins comes and starts cuddling you, he does it every day to me. He comes over and he sits in front of me and
Mommy,
purrs
are you stressed?
Yeah, probably. That's probably what it is.
Good kitty.
Yeah, but no,
well, there you go.
That's why I love cats. Oh, Oscar,
good
such a
kitty,
wonderful
right?
boy.
I thought that was interesting.
Oh, that's so cool, Nicole.
The second one I want to show you.
Yes.
It's interesting because it could be a hoax, but I don't know why he'd want to make this a hoax.
Okay.
And it's funny. I was reading through comments because sometimes I do that, and people are like,
"That's not real.
I hope this is real." You know? Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I'm gonna he's talking, but I'm gonna tell you what's going on.
Okay.
So this guy has a camera on his backyard.
Okay. Yeah.
And what happened was he wasn't there at the home, I think, but the camera picked up a person walking into his backyard.
Oh, okay.
This guy walks in. Well, maybe he is home. He was, I don't know what happened, but he's like watching him on his camera.
Watching the camera.
And this guy's walking around. It's weird. He's being suspicious. And then he walks into.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Or sus. And then he walks into his what is that? A shed.
Okay. He walks into the shed.
This guy calls the police.
Yeah, because there's a dude in my backyard that just like went into my shed. Yes.
Police come. He's watching.
Yeah.
Does not leave the shed.
Yeah.
Cops come.
Yeah.
They search everything. They look into the shed. They walk into it.
Yeah.
Guy is nowhere.
I'm watching. Where did he go?
It's a very small shed. If you look at it,
yeah.
I think you could fit maybe 4 people tightly in there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 5. Yeah. 3 cops are in there right now.
Yeah. Where did he go?
Where did he
dig
go?
a hole?
That's what I was thinking too, but that was really short.
The...
That was like, how would he dig a hole in that short of a time?
Well, maybe the hole was already there.
I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
So this guy thinks he's a time traveler.
Oh, because the guy goes into the shed and disappears. Okay.
This is even crazier now.
Okay.
He said he submits an update.
Okay.
So this is the guy. That's what he looks like.
Okay.
He looks like a young,
he's like smiling
30s, 40s.
At the camera. He's like, hey guys. Yeah. He doesn't look like.
Yeah.
He just looks like a normal dude that you would see walking down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
And he updates you that he goes into the shed. Police come, right?
Yeah.
Well, few days go by.
He
walks out. Look at this dude.
He walks out of the shed.
What does that look like?
He's an old man.
He's an old man. Out of nowhere, this guy walks out of his shed. Didn't see him go in. This is a few days later.
I got chills everywhere, Nicole. What the actual heck, dude?
The guy
it looks like the same guy.
Yes, but
has
aged significantly.
Yes. So he's like in his 60s.
Yes.
What is going on?
This is so insane, right?
What is going on? This has got to be fake. He's got to be lying about this.
Everybody keeps saying that, but why would
he lie about it? Because it goes viral.
Why would he call?
Yeah, so why would he call the police on that? Yeah. Oh, dude, I can't wait for another update.
Isn't that bonkers?
That dude's not going to survive another update, but like, oh my gosh, Nicole, what happens the heck,
if he comes
dude?
back? I'm just like predicting what happens if he comes back. This old dude goes into the shed, comes back out
as the young dude again.
That's when I'm going to be like, I'm going to go fall asleep.
It's crazy. You guys have to see this TikTok. It is crazy.
Yeah. So the handle, let me see if I can. I think his name is Alec. ALEC or Shawl, SCHAAL. You can just Google it. Or TikTok search it. It's going to show up. And it's under time traveler. This is bonkers.
That is insane. You guys. So it's like a Ring camera because like I noticed that. I have that same kind of thing on my Ring cameras.
And he looked.
He's watching.
He was very intensely looking at what was going on in this situation.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I totally got chills. That's nuts, you guys.
Who is this person?
What is happening?
And he looks right into the camera, the old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both times.
Yeah,
like he knows the camera's there.
Yeah. So who is this person? Is there like a magic well? So what's crazy about this, I'm going to relate this to a book I just read that a few months ago I finished that my mother-in-law gave me. It's called, it's Stephen King, which kind of relates to our movie.
It does relate to the movie.
It's called Fairy Tale. And the premise of this is that this old guy, this kid, right? He's a really nice kid. His mom dies, unfortunately. And he knows this old grumpy guy that lives in this big house on the corner in this neighborhood. And he was walking by one day and he noticed the guy fell down. He helped him. He broke his leg just falling because he's old. Mm-hmm. And then the old guy's in the hospital. He's like, I cannot be in this hospital this long. Can you watch my house for me? Mm-hmm. And the kid's like, yeah. He's like 16, 17. So he's like, don't go in the shed. Oh, the shed is locked up. And then one day when he's over there, he's hearing something in the shed, and it's like scratching, and he's like, "What is that?" But he like refuses to go. And then finally, curiosity gets the better of him. I think he gets into the shed, and it's this like gigantic cockroach bug, like huge. He manages to kill it, or something happens, but he discovers in the shed under all these magazines a big tunnel, like it's a stairway. Ooh. And he goes into the stairway and he just keeps going. And it's this like magical realm.
With giant cockroaches.
It's a different world. It's crazy.
Wow, and that's awesome.
I won't give away the book. You should read it. Okay. It's Fairy Tale by Stephen King. But he discovers, because this guy has been alive since the 1800s, the old guy. Oh. Because in this magical realm, there's this like time thing where you can sit on it and you can turn back time. Oh. In this big city. And his dog that he's watching, the old man's dog, is like, he falls in love with this dog, and the dog's getting older, and he decides to take the dog to this realm. Oh, it's the sweetest. Yeah, to give him more life.
If I could do that with my Rose dog, I would do that too. And so she's like the best dog.
Yeah, she is. So yeah, it's a great book. I won't. But there's a lot of stuff that happens. He gets captured. It's cool. It's really good. Oh. But that's what this reminded me of. This guy went into a magical realm. He went the opposite way.
Yeah. Well, maybe he turned the table the other way and decided
or
to
he
get older.
stayed there forever, because the time works very different in this magical realm. It's very, like our time is like a minute there is like a day, Oh,
wow.
So
Nicole,
isn't that
crazy?
That's the
craziest thing.
Anyway, but to check it out, time traveling.
Okay. Yes, that is awesome. Oh my gosh.
Anyway. So yes, but yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how to transition from that time traveler onto what we have going on. So thank you for taking that, because I'm like, my mind is still blown. I'm like, how? What? How? Oh my gosh.
If it's real, I mean, it could be.
If it's real, yes. So it's so bizarre that my brain is like, oh, it's got to be a hoax. But like, I don't want to be that hoaxing. I always want to believe in possibilities.
Skepticism.
Yeah. But anyway.
Anyway.
So speaking of believing in possibilities, I did kind of create this on my own. It is inspired. So my stitch today is inspired from something that I have seen, but I did create this square on my own.
On your own?
On my own, yes. I did not use a pattern, so I'm excited to show you guys. And
you have to write it out now.
Oh, well, yeah. I have to write. Yeah, I'll tell you how it worked. And I think there might be some things I can do to perfect it a little bit more. But yeah, no, this is really cool. It was really fun to figure out and to do. And I can't wait to tell you all about it.
Yeah.
And so that's for stitch time.
Okay.
I don't even know what to call it. A spiral granny square.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Spiral granny square.
That's
That's what I made. Yeah.
I love it.
It's pretty cool. I'm really excited to do that. And then we're still on our Cryptid Road Trip.
That's right.
This is road trip part 2. So I can't wait. I love cryptids, so I can't wait to get into that. And then our movie today was,
we'll talk about that
it was
later.
a movie. We'll talk about it later. But we should get going. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get stitching. Okay, Stitchers. So for stitch time today, I created this spiral granny square. I'm sure that this exists out there in the world, but the reason why I'm saying I created it is because I did not follow any pattern at all. I just sat here and did it while I was editing the podcast that went out this week. So what inspired this is I was on probably Instagram Reels, and there's this woman who is making this Starry Night blanket.
Ooh.
And it's really cool. And there is
fun.
a pattern, and it's in like a 2019 crochet book. And I found it on Ravelry. It's like $4 to buy all of the patterns that are in that book.
Oh, cool.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
But it's called the Starry Night blanket. Obviously it's inspired by Vincent van Gogh.
That's
and
cool.
Basically what it is it's a bunch of these swirly spirals and then these stars that go in the middle of it. Okay. So the stars kind of connect these swirls.
Ooh.
And that's how the blanket works. So it swirls and stars. That's the whole thing.
I like that.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to spend money. And I'm like,
Right.
I just want to know how to do the swirl because that's pretty cool. And I want to learn how to do that. So I did look up on another Instagram account, which I don't know who it was. Maybe it was YouTube. It was something, but she was demonstrating how to do the swirl pattern. And she was doing it with 2 colors. And I was like, oh, okay. I understand how to do it with 2 colors. And it's basically like when you're doing a magic ring and you're increasing and you're increasing, you just keep increasing, but you don't tie off the round. You just keep building on the round. And that's how you get the spiral pattern. And she did it with 2 colors, but if you do it with more than 2 colors, you just divide up the circle more. So let me explain that a little bit more. So you start with the magic ring, which I am a rock star at now. So you start with the magic ring and you're going to do 12 DCs into the magic ring.
Okay.
Okay. 12 DCs. 12 divided by 4, because I'm using 4 colors, is 3. So I did 3 DCs in each color into the magic ring. Okay. And then I left each one just pulled. So I didn't tie the colors together because you're going to continue with that color. So you don't have to change colors. You just start a new color into each one. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So don't change colors. Just start
your thing with different colors. Got it.
And I have to do this because I did the math wrong and I did 4 DCs and I was like, why isn't this laying flat? Because that's too many. 4 times 4 is not 12. That's 16.
You're funny.
3 times 4.
Good
so
job.
I had to undo it and go back to.
But you learned.
But
because
I learned
math.
because math. But because math is not my friend. I had to share that with you. Okay. And so this is worked in continuous rounds. So you do not slip stitch and tie off and go to the next round. You just use a stitch marker, and just like when you're doing amigurumi, it's continuous rounds.
Yeah.
Same thing. So continuous rounds. So once you do the 12 DCs into that, then you're going to go to your first color and you're going to do 2 DCs into each color around, right? So if I started with yellow, we'll say I started with yellow. I don't know which color I started with, but we'll start yellow. So when I moved up to the next round, I'm DCing into the next color over, right? So I'm going to do 2 DCs into each one of these purples, right? And then I marked my first DC as that's the beginning of the next round. Yeah. Stitch marker. We know how that works. So you do 2 DCs into each of the colors. So once I did my 2 DCs into the purple, I switched to purple. I picked up the purple and then do 2 DCs into this multicolored one, right?
Yeah.
So then that's like 6 DCs, 6 DCs.
And
Obviously we wind up with 24. Yeah. And then you keep going. So it's like a really simple thing.
Cool.
So each round, so it's 24 in the second round. The third round is 2 DCs, 1 DC, 2 DCs, 1 DC, right? So it's only an increase every other one.
Yeah.
And then every other round after that, I only did 2 more rounds after that one. And then it was 2 DCs, 1 DC, 1 DC, 2 DCs, 1 DC, 1 DC.
Increased. Yep.
Increased each one by 4, right?
Yeah.
Until I got to 64. And I know in 64, because that's how many in the round I did on the daisy. See, I'm like remembering things. That's how many I did in the round on the daisy.
Got it.
I just tied off each one of the spirals. So I slip stitched into and I probably should have single crocheted because I think that would have rounded it out better instead of just slip stitching. So that's probably the mistake that I would want to fix because it didn't round it off that well. But yeah, so I slip stitch or single crochet and then tie it off. Okay. And then that will kind of tuck the color into it. And then you have your spiral. And then I did 64 DCs in my, what is this? Tan buff. It's actually buff. 64 DCs all the way around just to make it rounder. And then I squared it off with my granny square. So that's 3 DCs, 3 half double crochets, 3 single crochets, 3 half doubles, 3 DCs, and then you're at your corner, which is 2 trebles, chain 2 trebles into 1 stitch.
Look at you. You remembered that.
I did. Well. Because I did it 96 times. I did it so many times. But yeah, so that's how I made my spiral granny square.
So cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it was pretty simple. This was a much more successful granny square than my Live Long and Prosper.
That one was hard though.
Yeah, I was a little too ambitious with that one. So I'll figure it out. But I'm like, this is my first pattern that I don't know. Somebody else probably did it and did it better, but I did this one on my own.
You figured it out on your own. Yes.
Yes. I figured this one on my own.
Good job.
So yay. Spiral granny square.
And the colors are pretty.
In 3 colors. Yeah. They're very Eastery.
Yeah. Starry Night Easter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty.
So thank you.
Yay. Good job.
So that's it for stitch time.
Whoop, whoop.
Little spiral granny square. So I think this would be really fun if you were making I don't know, whatever. If you like spirals, you can. I think
spiral blanket.
Spiral blanket.
Or if you use cotton, it could be a pot holder.
Yeah.
Because it's big enough. It's cool.
Well, yeah. I also used, acrylic yarn. If you used a smaller yarn, it would obviously be smaller. But yeah. I used just, the regular Red Heart acrylic, 4 medium worsted weight yarn. And I think I used a 5.5 hook, maybe a 4.5 hook, maybe a 5, somewhere in that range. I don't even remember.
That's a wide range. 4 to 5.5.
We'll just split the difference. I used a 5 millimeter hook. Yeah.
Okay.
To do this. Yeah.
Very cool.
There we go.
Good job.
Spiral granny square.
Love it. I love it.
So that's it for stitch time. I'm so ready to dive in for story time. Let's get cryptid.
Yay!
It's story time.
Have we ever talked about what a cryptid is? We have, right?
I'm sure we have, but we can talk about it some more.
I didn't put anything in. I was just thinking about it because we dove in pretty quickly last episode, but I'm pretty sure we talked about what a cryptid was. I think when we probably discussed monsters, lake monsters.
Yeah. Okay. So cryptids are animals that we don't necessarily have a record for, that people have seen, that don't
have a category, no animal that we've seen before.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's mythical.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys that. Anyway, episode 94, we're going to go into Minnesota.
My niece was born in Minnesota.
My brother was born in Minnesota. No.
Or as my kids call it, Tiny Pepsi.
Tiny Pepsi. I love that. I'm sorry. I was wrong. My brother was not born in Minnesota.
Uh-oh.
I think he was born in Italy. Oh my gosh.
We'll cut all of that.
Oh my gosh. I'm having brain farts. Anyway, I'm going to leave that in because it's hilarious.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Shout out to Patron Avery. I think you were born in Italy because I think you have pictures of you in Italy, or maybe that
Avery,
was Minnesota.
where were you born? Let us know. Email us at theominousstitch@gmail.com, or you can comment on any of our social medias and let us know. Avery, where were you born?
He was born before me. He's 4 years older than me. So he was born in one of those, I'm pretty sure. Or he was conceived in Italy. Who knows? Anyway,
well, hey.
There you go. So Minnesota. And there's a few cryptids in this state, but the most well-known in modern times is the Wendigo.
Ah, yeah.
And this is the one that I reached out to Angela weeks ago.
Did we talk about this?
Yes. Because I had a feeling we did. Maybe we touched about it.
Yeah.
And what I think it is because people confuse Wendigos with skinwalkers.
Yes.
And we cannot confuse the two. They are not the same. I'm showing her. I have lots of fun pictures.
Oh, wow.
This is someone's drawing.
That's crazy.
It's like all the different details of what a Wendigo has. Yeah, it's spooky.
Ooh, very spooky. Okay. Very spooky.
So a Wendigo or Wendigo, because there are so many other transliterations, originated from the Plains and Great Lakes natives, as well as some First Nations. Overall, it is a cold climate creature that has been spotted in Canada and in northern states, such as Minnesota. The Wendigo is part of the traditional belief system of a number of Algonquin-speaking peoples, including the Ojibwe, the Saulteaux, the Cree, the Naskapi, and the Innu. Between cultures, the descriptions may vary a little. However, all view the Wendigo as a malevolent spirit that possesses human beings and turns them into cannibals.
Oh,
yes.
Do you know what that creature or that drawing of the cryptid reminds me of? Oh, see, that's even worse. I'm
showing
that's
your photos.
Even worse. But it reminds me of what was that movie that we watched?
The Ritual?
Yes.
The Ritual.
You totally knew what I was going to say.
Because it had antlers and it was huge and spooky.
And it had those weird little baby hands.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Oh, that was creepy. Yeah, it's very similar. An origin of the Wendigo that's most known is that it was once a lost hunter. One brutal winter, the hunter's intense hunger drove him to cannibalism. As soon as he partook in this vile act, he transformed into a crazed man-beast, always roaming the forest in search of more human flesh to consume.
Okay. The TV show, The Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, so I haven't watched it all, so I don't know but it's
similar,
this,
right?
Yes, because they do turn to cannibalism and they do wear outfits that are like this. So
it's I'm gonna guess it's based
and
on
I
this,
think they're I haven't watched it all, but they're alluding to, as far as I've watched, some supernatural elements that are kind of evil and malevolent that are leading them down this path.
Spooky.
So, and they're in the woods somewhere in America. I don't know.
Have to watch that. That's creepy. So the well-known story that relates to this was in 1878 to 1879. A Cree trapper named Swift Runner, or Kakisi Kuchin, lived in Fort Saskatchewan in Alberta. He was accused of murdering his entire family, which consisted of his wife and 6 children.
Oh, man.
During a winter famine, and ate their flesh.
Oh.
He claimed he was possessed by a Wendigo spirit that made him do it. He was arrested by Canadian authorities and hanged for his crimes in 1879 at Fort Saskatchewan.
Good. He should have been hung. If you turn to cannibalism, which happens because there have been so many stories about people turning to that, and we've done a few of them. Own up to it. Don't blame it on
evil spirits.
Something that possessed you to make.
Well,
Unless
again, if he really believes it, then who knows, right? Your brain's in that not right version. Okay, another version of that is of Jack Fiddler, an Oji Cree chief and shaman who lived near Sandy Lake in Ontario in 1907 to 1909. He claimed to kill at least 14 people who were either possessed by Wendigos or about to turn into one due to starvation or illness. He wanted to protect his community from evil. Canadian authorities arrested him along with his brother Joseph Fiddler for murder in 1907 in Manitoba. Jack Fiddler escaped from custody but died shortly after. Other versions of humans becoming Wendigos is when the spirit is corrupted by greed or weakened by extreme conditions such as hunger or cold. And in other legends, such as the Cree mythology, humans will become possessed by a prowling spirit during a moment of weakness, creating the Wendigo. So the Wendigo has existed through the oral history of the Algonquin for many centuries. However, the first European written account was by Paul Lejeune, a Jesuit missionary that lived amongst the Algonquin people in the early 17th century in what is now known as Quebec. He wrote to his superiors in Paris in 1636. This devilish woman added that the Wendigo had eaten some a Tickamagukin. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that. I tried. These are the tribes that live north of the river that is called Three Rivers, and that he would eat a great many more of them if he were not called elsewhere. But that Achin, sort of a werewolf, would come in his place to devour them, even up to French fort, that he would slaughter the French themselves. So that was his account. Mm-hmm. Some think the Wendigo is a relative of Bigfoot.
No, why?
No. But other reports compare the Wendigo to a werewolf. That makes more sense.
Yeah, okay. So I'm still kind of unclear on what this Wendigo is. Well, again, stop right there.
Okay,
I know you're explaining it to me,
so
but like
it could be it's either a possessed human, right, that wears the antler head. So this one looks more, the drawing I'm showing Angela looks more like.
So, but what it actually is like a spirit that possesses the human. Correct. And then the human will dress in the spirit of whatever is.
Yes.
I don't believe Wendigos.
So it's got the antler ears and everything.
Yeah, I know. The humans dress up like what the spirit possesses them as.
I'll tell you what it looks like too more in detail, I promise.
Yeah, I have a hard time with this being a cryptid. To me, it's like a demon.
A demon?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so let me give you a description.
Okay.
This creature tends to look like an emaciated figure with ashen flesh. Others describe the creature to be giant, at least 15 feet tall, and grows larger the more it consumes. It may have sunken or glowing eyes and sharp yellowed fangs and claws. Its lips are chewed or entirely missing because it has eaten them.
Ew.
The Wendigo has sharp and pointy teeth, and it could be hairless or have fur, may have pointed ears and horns or antlers similar to a deer. It will smell of rotting flesh and usually detected by humans by its horrible odor. Its sense of sight, smell, and hearing is superior in order to stalk and overpower its victims. Wendigos move through deep snow and ice effortlessly and are very quick. So there you go.
Yeah, I know. And I still don't understand.
It's like a werewolf.
No, but I still don't understand. I think it's just a demon, but I don't understand because it's not its own physical thing. It possesses people.
Yeah.
So it can only take on the form of a human, and the human dresses up like these things, right?
But I think
why do I not understand?
It's a werewolf.
So it causes these people, once they get possessed by it,
to look more creepier. Yes.
So it changes that person's physical form until they morph into whatever the spirit is that can.
Yes.
There you
go.
Took them on.
Yes.
And so once the spirit possesses the person, then that person starts to physically change and go through a metamorphosis like a butterfly,
like a werewolf,
and becomes. That just reminded me of like a reindeer, like you're singing Jingle Bells. That's really funny. Okay, I'm understanding what the Wendigo is better. And yes, it is more like a werewolf. Nothing like Bigfoot.
No, not at all.
But like, I still feel like it's not really its own cryptid. It feels like it's a parasitical thing that I guess attaches itself to a human and then consumes that human and metamorphosizes that human into the creature.
Yeah.
And then
it's not a creature. Yes. Yes. You're exactly right. It's not Loch Ness Monster. It's not a Bigfoot. It's still part human in its own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they call it a cryptid. I don't know why.
Okay.
So it's like its own category of cryptid, I guess.
Yeah. Because it's more like a possession.
Yeah.
Or a parasite that does consume its host.
Right.
And morphs into a whole other thing.
Eats flesh.
So like what happens when it fully consumes the host? Does it go back into a spirit thing and then it
stays in the host.
Stays in the host
until you kill it.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like a werewolf.
But okay, here's my thing. The people that the first guy, and I never remember names, you guys, but the guy that you were talking about that ate his family.
Oh, but he didn't change into he
wasn't a Wendigo.
No.
So that was a lie.
Yeah, he just said the spirit of the Wendigo.
Like, I was possessed by the Wendigo, but then I was able to fight it off and I'm okay. No. That's
he didn't look all different.
That was
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, it's such a traditional legend thing within those natives, so that maybe it didn't look like it, but they believed wholeheartedly that.
Yeah, that goes back to the whole skinwalker thing.
Exactly.
Where those people got off because they were skinwalkers or whatever.
Right. There you go. All right. Note that the legend of the Wendigo lends its name to the disputed modern medical term, Wendigo psychosis. Okay, so this is where you're kind of thinking about it. Some psychiatrists believe there is a syndrome that creates an intense craving for human flesh and a fear of becoming a cannibal. And guess where this psychosis occurs generally? Yes, around the Great Lakes of Canada and the U.S. The psychosis generally develops in the winter, where individuals are isolated by heavy snow for long periods. There was a report in 1661 in a Jesuit relations document. What caused us greater concern was the intelligence that met us upon entering the lake, namely that the men deputed?
Disputed?
I don't know. That's weird. Deputed.
That's not a word.
No, it's not. I don't know what that is. Okay.
Are you trying to say disputed? Read your sentence.
The men deputed by our conductor to summon the nations to the North Sea. I'm going to guess it's the men that were distributed to our conductor, but to summon the nations of the North Sea and signing them a rendezvous. Yeah. So I'm guessing that's a weird word. Anyway.
Okay.
Where they were to await our coming, had met their death the previous winter in a very strange manner. Those poor men, according to the report given us, were seized with an ailment unknown to us, but not very unusual among the people we were seeking. They are afflicted with neither lunacy, hypochondria, nor frenzy, but have a combination of all these species of disease, which affects their imaginations and causes them a more than canine hunger. This makes them so ravenous for human flesh that they pounce upon women, children, and even upon men like veritable werewolves and devour them voraciously without being able to appease or glut their appetite, even seeking fresh prey, and the more greedily, the more they eat. This ailment attacked our deputies, and as death is the sole remedy amongst these simple people for checking such acts of murder, they were slain in order to stay the course of their madness. So, again, Wendigo psychosis is what they gave that.
Yeah.
Lastly, here is a story about a possible Wendigo encounter, but this took place in Canada. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've been debating on sharing the story with anyone outside of my small circle of people that were there, but I want to share my experience in hopes that it saves someone's life or to give understanding of what someone else has experienced. Late fall 2010. In northern Canada, I went deep into the wilderness with my father and my eldest brother to hunt for moose. We left in the early morning, just before sunrise, trying to cover as much distance as possible before nightfall. We traveled winding rivers and had to repeatedly portage over rapids all day. We decided to set up camp just over halfway to our destination. My father figured that we'd make the rest of the journey tomorrow. Well, when everyone bedded down for the night, I decided to go grab some firewood and relieve myself down by the bank of the river, just out of reach of the light from the campfire. Out from the tree line, about 15 yards away, I could hear rustling in the bushes. I watched the area where I heard the noise and focused on that spot. I felt kind of funny, dizzy, lightheaded, and I could smell this putrid stink like old milk or rotten food.
Ew.
Ew. Then I saw the trees start to morph and move ever so slightly and began to take the shape of a head and slight facial features.
Oh.
My eyes began to adjust to the darkness, and along the tree line, I could hear the voice coming from there. I recognized it. The voice sounded like one of my relatives who had recently passed. The face took shape of my relative. Hello, they said. I've missed you. Come see me. I smiled and stepped forward a bit, but stopped to analyze the situation. My relative's face stopped smiling and became emotionless. The skin began to turn pale and peel away. Chunks of flesh from their cheeks began to fall away, and I felt shock and fear overwhelm my body. I couldn't make sense of it all, so I started to back away and make my way to camp. I didn't realize at the time that I had been walking towards the voice, and I was further away from the firelight. The voice became angry and began shouting at me to come here. So I turned to run away, but as I looked back one more time, I saw the most disgusting thing I had ever seen. It was rotting flesh on gnawed bone, caved-in eyes, and a hollow chest cavity. This humanoid creature was tall and super thin. I ran as fast as I could, trying to yell for help, but the fear had made my voice quiet and raspy. I ran along the riverbank, and I could hear the heavy breaths and the stomping feet from this thing right behind me.
That is terrifying.
I made it onto the top of the riverbank, but it grabbed a hold of my leg as I jumped up. I gripped and tore the grass, trying to lift myself, and yelled as loud as I could. Then finally my voice came back, and I yelled that someone has my leg. My brother woke up and ran over to where I was. Then he pulled me up and took me over to the fire. I was terrified, trying to explain what I saw and that it looked like my relative, but not. I was trying to convince them that I wasn't seeing things, but my brother nodded his head and said, I saw it too, you know.
Okay, that's a real thing.
Yes.
But the Wendigo psychosis, yes. But this is different. This is
a little different, right?
Yeah.
That solidified it. He acknowledged that it was real. We stayed up all night after that, rifles loaded and close by. We packed up when the sun was coming up and went back home. We haven't shared that story with anyone out of fear of being labeled as crazy or liars. I've had nightmares and couldn't sleep for months afterwards. I would see things, dark figures looking into my window, or hear whispers when I was walking home at night. Eventually, I was seeing this dark figure daily. I went to medicine man shaman for help.
Daily?
But I've learned that the ceremonies only relieves it temporarily. Friends have given me everything from protection pouches to certain crystals. I found out that there's a strong possibility that I encountered a Wendigo. I learned that if you encounter one and survive, it attaches itself to you like a parasite. Like you said. Yep. I learned that it could only do this if it touches you, which it did. Ever since that night, I've been on edge when I enter any forest or wooded area, which sucks because I loved being outdoors, hunting, and in nature. Now I always feel like I need to keep my back against something when I'm out in the wild. Anyways, make your own conclusions about this. I've paid a price for being an ignorant child to the stories of old. They are real. I can attest to that. Stay safe, everyone. Here's some more pictures.
Oh, gross. I don't like the Wendigos. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for going through the psychosis thing. Yes, I think that's what the first guy was going through, and a bunch of people. This guy actually did see something. I think I have a better idea of what these Wendigos are. So once it attaches itself to, okay. The first couple stories were psychosis. This is a real thing. And so I guess the Wendigo at some point did attach itself to a host, and it is a cryptid. It is a thing. This guy did encounter one in the wild.
Yes.
So if it catches you, do you become a new host then? Is that what it does?
It sounds like if you get away, if it touches you, then
if it touches you, then it's going to pursue you.
I don't know, because I feel like if it gets you, it'd eat you. So I have no idea.
Yeah,
or you're infected.
It eats you. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I don't know. You're doomed if you're.
I mean, it eats you if it
hungry.
If it gets in you too. Like if you are the new host for it, it still eats you.
Right.
This is a weird thing.
Right?
I feel like I need to know more about it. I feel like there's two parts to this Wendigo thing that we talked about and we dealt with today. The actual cryptid,
right?
How it becomes a cryptid is questionable, but then like, because it does feel like it's a different kind of a thing, because if it's something that possesses somebody and then it turns into this, morphs into this creature,
right,
then that's a little bit different. But it is like a werewolf, because that's what happens. A person gets infected,
gets bitten, and you become a werewolf.
Yeah, so same kind of a thing.
Right.
Interesting.
Spooky.
Yeah, we have not talked about Wendigos that much. No, at all.
And I'm glad I don't live over there.
Yeah, no. I don't want to. No, these are not the fun kind of cryptid.
No, not at all. I don't want to encounter this one at all.
No cannibalism for me. No,
spooky.
Thank you. But it absolutely is the creature in the ritual. And for those of you, if you've seen the Yellow Jackets, is this the same kind of thing that's happening to the girls? I think they have more of the psychosis than they do actually becoming this. I don't know because I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
But if you've seen it, let me know. Yeah. Am I on the right track with that? Because I should probably continue watching Yellow Jackets.
What was it on? Do you remember what platform?
I don't know. I want to say it's like Peacock. Or it could be Paramount.
I think we have
or something.
Peacock now because, is it Peacock? My hubs is obsessed with the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, yeah.
Good show.
It's so funny.
And it was free for the first 4 seasons on Netflix. And now 4 through 8, I think it's on Peacock.
On Peacock, because they're like, okay, we have to get
so
this
he has to get it to watch it.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right. So that's the Wendigo.
Okay, let's move on because that one's too creepy.
It's very spooky. Definitely spookier. All right, we're going to go to North Dakota.
North Dakota.
And we're going to discuss a mysterious cryptid that many don't know about. The legend of the Mini Washitu.
Washitu.
Or the Missouri River Monster.
Where have I heard this? I feel like it was on a movie where they're like,
Probably.
Washitu. Right? Anybody else have that going on in their brain? Just me? Okay.
Just you. Mini Washitu.
Washitu.
This cryptid stems from the indigenous Madan people, where they settled along the banks of the Missouri River in North Dakota and its tributaries. The winter months were brutal as the river froze, but before the river could run again, the mini water monster had to appear. Melvin Randolph Gilmore, an ethnologist in the early years of the 20th century, was told that the Mini Washitu was a dreadful being. The creature was described as covered all over with hair like a buffalo, but red in color. And it had only one eye in the middle of its forehead, and above that, a single horn. Its backbone stood out notched and jagged like an enormous saw. And apparently its hands are humanoid.
Oh, no.
But its feet are hooves like those of an elk. You would know it arrived as it would let out a terrific roaring sound and swam upriver, using its enormous body and lethal backbone to break up the ice.
Ugh.
During the evening hours, you would see the Mini Washitu as a red streak, as bright as a flame in the middle of the icy waterway. But to see it by day was apparently a death sentence.
No.
Because Gilmore was told that not a great many years ago, one man spotted the creature. He lived only long enough to describe the sight and its consequences. The world went dark, and then he, quote unquote, lost his reason. Soon after, he died. Sadly, once Gilmore heard about the Mini Washitu, the Mandan people were hit by smallpox from the traders that followed its route.
Oh, no.
Yeah, an outbreak in 1782 and again in 1837 decimated the tribe. Yeah. But here are fun pictures of it.
I like this one. Like the description sounds crazy, but that first one is like a cute, weird puppy doggy thing.
It's like a unicorn crazy thing. I don't know.
It's like, yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So sometimes that's not correct, really, but it's close.
Yeah.
And then an AI put this one. Yay, AI.
No, that first drawing is awesome.
Funny, right?
That's so good. It's so good.
It's hilarious. As cryptozoologist Lucas Jennings wrote in his article about the Mini Washitu, Even though it was feared to be seen to drive you mad, the monster was believed to play a vital role in the ecology of the Missouri River, as it did swim upriver to break up the thick ice that accumulated on it, which symbolizes renewal and rebirth. It is said that the mini Washitu still lives in the Missouri River and still swims upstream before springtime to help break that ice up. And many believe that the creature's diet is mainly that of fish, plants, and grass, so it may be scary to see, but it's non-threatening to humankind, except if you get into its territory, and then it will lash out at invaders.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one. It's kind of like a minotaur looking,
yes,
but with like bones everywhere, and a cyclops. So a cyclops, minotaur, unicorn.
Bison.
Yeah. Oh, bison. Yeah. With the
So there you go.
Oh, I like it. I like the mini.
I can see it like freak you out, but it's
not
it would
hurt freak you out, but it's not gonna hurt you. No. It's just like, I'm doing my job.
It's very innocent.
Right. He's just breaking up the ice.
I love this.
I'm trying to sing that. Well, I was in my brain. I don't remember the words, but it was the opening sequence of Frozen where they're harvesting the ice.
Oh yes,
yeah.
There you go.
That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing. He's helping out.
Yeah. It's Sven.
A very weird looking Sven.
Okay. I like the mini Washitu.
Yeah, it's cute. We go to South Dakota. And I'm going to go to a creature I know you will like.
Okay.
Because it's a Bigfoot-like creature.
Yay! I love Bigfoot.
I know. Near the Sika Hollow State Park, there is the Takuhe, which means big man from the Lakota language. According to most accounts, Takuhe is a guardian spirit of the land that protects it from invaders and intruders.
Oh, so he's the Lorax.
Yes, Bigfoot Lorax. But there are some accounts that believe that Takuhe is a malevolent creature that preys on humans and animals alike. But
no, he's a guardian. Oh, it's Bigfoot. It's like another name for Bigfoot.
Yeah. It is said he is a tall, roughly 7 to 9 feet figure, dark brown or black fur, and ape-like, as he is very muscular with a flat face, small ears, and a prominent brow ridge.
Yeah, Bigfoot.
Yes. Its eyes glow red or yellow that can be seen at night, and has long arms that can reach below its knees with large hands. I put a weird word in there.
It's skenees.
Apparently... This is funny. He's seen wearing a cape and a hat.
Oh, yes. Yes.
No, but I don't think that's true, because there are 2 cryptids in South Dakota, Takuhe and a ghost boogeyman called Walking Sam that lives in the caverns of Wind Cave National Park that haunts people.
Oh, no, I don't like Walking Sam.
Yeah. So sometimes people put them together. That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
Walking Sam is creepy, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't like him.
She's just showing me a picture of him. I know you guys haven't heard a description, but it's like the Thin Man. He's tall. Slender Man. That's what it is. Slender Man. Tall, but with long arms and long. Yeah, and a hat.
No, I don't like that.
Ugh.
Yeah. So some people, it's funny. There's a picture.
I love people named Sam. My husband is Sam, but
no,
he's not that Sam. Different Sam.
Yes. Yeah. So Takuhe is seen near forest, fields, or hills, and mostly nocturnal. It is intelligent, and it can mimic human sounds and voices, such as whistling, laughing, crying, or calling names. The first
it can call names.
It can call your name.
Ooh.
The first modern sightings of Takuhe thought to occurred in the 1970s when a film crew was scouting locations for a zombie movie near Sika Hollow. When they were searching around, they stumbled upon a large footprint that they believed belonged to Takuhe. They then began interviewing locals who claimed to have seen or heard the creature. One was Lamar Bear Ribs. I don't know that name. That's really funny, right?
Lamar Bear Ribs.
That's his name.
Nice.
He encountered Takuhe as he was walking home. He described the creature as a big, hairy man who gave him a seizure.
Oh.
Yeah. Ribs was taken to a health center by 2 women who then also witnessed Takuhe in their car headlights.
Ooh, yeah. So they saw him in their car headlights.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They helped Bear Ribs. On September 6, 1974, a witness claimed to have seen the creature dragging a dead animal through a field. Then, in September of 1977, more sightings continued, which attracted the media. There were reports coming in about mutilated cattle and wild animals this is weird, with their sexual organs removed and blood drained.
Ew, what? Ew, ew, ew. Why? That's not takuhei.
I don't think that's takuhei.
No, that's just somebody being sick and weird.
Well, some put the blame on takuhei and others blamed UFOs, as there were many reports of seeing flying UFOs at this time in South Dakota.
Okay, because there's a whole theory about Bigfoot being an alien, and so, I don't know. I haven't like really dove into these theories, but I've just basically reading like the bullet points and seeing headlines and stuff. So my headline understanding of one of the theories about Bigfoot and aliens is that we were all like Bigfoot, and then aliens came down and then they turned humans into humans, so we're kind of part Bigfoot, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I could be like way off on this, but again, these are just like headlines of bullet points that I've read, because that's about how deep my research usually goes. I'm like, ooh, that's cool, and then I move on. I'm like, if it's really something theory. Cool, Nicole will tell me more about it. Yeah, maybe I'll do another Bigfoot one and I'll dive into that theory, see what I can dig up on
that would be cool, actually.
Aliens and Bigfoot.
That's a really interesting concept.
Yeah. But 1977 is a great year. Just putting it in there.
It was a very great year.
This is about a month shy of it being the best year.
Well, at this point, the creature was called the McLaughlin Monster by the press because the nearby town began reporting more sightings of it. After September 1977, reports began to dwindle, but not completely. Throughout the years, various witnesses, such as hunters, campers, and farmers, had reported seeing takuhei. Many theories and hypotheses try to explain takuhei, which include a real animal that belongs to an unknown species of primate that has evolved in isolation in North America. Or it's a hybrid creature resulted from interbreeding humans and other primates or animals. Or it is a supernatural being with paranormal abilities and origins, or a shapeshifter, or an alien, or a complete hoax misidentification. And that's takuhei.
Yay, takuhei.
Okay. We now
it's Bigfoot.
It's Bigfoot. It's just a different version of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
So
I'm going to touch up on a type of cryptid we haven't covered in this series, but we have discussed a few before. And I'm talking lake monster, specifically the Walgren lake monster.
Walgren lake monster.
Yes. It's also known as the Alakai lake monster, and Giganticus brutivarius lies in Walgren Lake near Hay Springs, Nebraska. The first official reports of an out-of-the-ordinary creature in the lake was in the Hay Springs News in 1921. The article published on September 16th was headlined, "If it isn't a whale, it's a whaler of an animal." What? Okay. Native Americans would corroborate.
That's so cheesy. I love it.
I feel like the 1920s in general, when they were doing news and stuff, was pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
Native Americans would corroborate the story as a creature would emerge from the lake to devour the livestock nearby. Then in October, there were discussions on capturing the creature, but they didn't think there was large enough equipment and boats to do the deed. In August 11th, 1922, the same newspaper reported the huge water animal again seen on surface. William Hagedorn was a witness at that time and was quoted, "There is something there, and very large too, or it cannot splash the water as it did." Then in 1923, J.A. Johnson claimed he and his friends saw a water monster that was 40 feet long, dull gray-brown in color, with a horn-like object between its eyes and nostrils. Do you notice there's a theme? Like everyone keeps thinking there's like a horn between people.
Yeah, there's always horns.
There's a horn. They thought it looked similar to an alligator, but bigger and heavier. When the creature noticed the men, it emitted a dreadful roar, thrashed its tail about, and then dove under the water.
So what kind of dinosaur-like creature?
Looks like an
alligator. It doesn't sound like... Yeah, it maybe could be like an alligator gar. Yeah. Those things are huge fish.
Oh. Yes.
Or what are those, pikes?
Pikes are big too. Mm-hmm. Sturgeon.
That's
always a big one.
Yeah. That's what they confuse like all the plesiosaurs as.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because this is not it doesn't sound like a plesiosaur.
No, this is more alligator-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was picked up by the Omaha World Herald, which then spread quickly, even by the London Times. However, Nebraska politician and newspaperman John G. Maher was known for perpetrating several other hoaxes in Nebraska, like burying a cement casting of a buffalo soldier in an archaeological site near Chadron and proclaiming it a petrified man.
No.
And claiming the local hot springs had healing properties, but just sinking bags of soda into it. Dude.
Yeah, he was that's not good.
He was a scam artist.
Yeah.
But others still believe the Walgren Lake monster. And in 1935, Mari Sandoz wrote a biography that mentioned the monster. However, she linked it to Satan, and the creature was there to test the faith of locals. As she wrote,
that's so like our stupid movie.
That's why I thought that was funny. The same devil that scattered the fossil bones over the earth to confound those of little faith could plant a sea monster among the sinners. Doesn't it sound just like the movie?
Yeah. No.
At one point, the town thought to drag the lake in search of the monster, but because the landowners asked for $4,000 for a 3-month lease of the lake and adjacent land, again, this was 1920s, the investigation association said, hell no, that's too much money. Because today, that's roughly $99,000. And they're like, no, we don't want to do that.
No.
Other sighting reports did come in, and they claimed the creature was similar to a very large catfish or mud puppy. The July 1938 issue of the Federal Writers Project in Nebraska's Tall Tales monthly publication mentioned how massive the monster really was, and that it would cause the earth to tremble whenever he moved, such that the farmers become seasick for miles around. Yeah, they're into tall tales.
Yeah.
And the article claimed that every time the monster wandered on shore to eat the large number of livestock, it would also create a thick green mist, which disoriented travelers in the area.
This is like the second story of like the stinky
creature.
Yeah. Well, the stinky, it changes the mind altering stink or whatever.
Yes.
One of the creatures last week had that too.
Last week.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
That's funny.
The January 1962 edition of Outdoor Nebraska repeated the story and corroborated the disorienting fog. Why? And the article...
Because it's funny. That's why.
Yeah, and the article exaggerated the monster more by claiming a group of Eastern innocents had fallen victim to the creature's earth-shaking and had been bounced from Hay Springs to Valentine over 100 miles away. Yeah, tall tale. Anyway, here's a picture of one that they were thinking of. Look, it's a big salamander. Or
axolotl.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
And then,
it's cute.
But then they did this.
That one's not as cute. No. The other one was super cute.
This is just being silly.
Yeah. I think, this is a load of malarkey.
It's gotta be a creature.
It's a real big fish. And so they're just exaggerating it more and more and more.
Exactly.
But it's fun. Let them have fun with it.
It is.
Yeah.
The last sightings known of the lake monster was in 1985, but nothing has been noticed since then.
Yeah. So what I think this is, it's really fun. It's just like a big fun camp story.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and crazier and crazier and crazier. That's so much fun, though.
All right. So that is the Walgren Lake monster.
Yay.
And we're going to end there today.
Okay. I love cryptids. So this one wasn't like... I'm so excited that we had the Bigfoot in this one because I love the
there's a lot of those variations.
Yeah. Well, what I love about every Bigfoot popping up all over the place, and I've said this before, is like Bigfoot literally is all over the world, has different names, has different kind of variations on what Bigfoot looks like. But every time he pops up, that just like reinforces to me that that's Bigfoot. It's Bigfoot. It's Bigfoot.
Right.
My favorite one is, and I can't remember any of the name. My brain is not working today, you guys. I think it's because I'm trying to. Anyway,
she's got a project going on.
Yeah, I have a project going on, but so I can't remember names. But the Minotaur Cyclops guy, who was he with who breaks up the ice in the Missouri River?
Oh, Mini
Washitu. Mini Washitu is my favorite probably for today because he's just cute and he just goes about his job and he breaks up the ice and. He's so cute.
He's pretty hilarious. Yeah. Is that your favorite?
I think Mini Washitu is my favorite. I mean, Bigfoot is always my favorite, but
Takuhei.
Takuhei. But
you're gonna love this.
Moving away from
before I move on. I I got to show you a really funny photo that someone made of Takuhe.
Oh, okay.
Because the Cape hat thing.
Oh, did somebody make a picture of Takuhe with a cape hat?
It's an outfit.
He's a very distinguished gentleman. I love it. Okay, well, that might be my favorite Bigfoot photo ever. Oh my gosh, how
hilarious.
cute. He's a distinguished gentleman.
Yes, he is. He's
very handsome.
Yeah, he's got his outfit on. So. Anyway.
Yay! Well, what a really fun road trip. I love it. I love cryptids.
Yes.
If you guys have any stories of any of these cryptids that we've covered today or a cryptid in the area where you live, we want to know. Email us at theominousstitch@gmail.com or comment on any of our social medias. We love hearing from our stitchers, so please reach out to us today. You can also jump over to podbean.com. That is where we host our wonderful little podcast for you guys.
That's us.
And get any show notes. You can see these pictures. We do post the pictures on Instagram, mostly. Sometimes TikTok things will pop up there too.
Tiki-taki.
Tiki-taki.
That's what I like calling it.
Tiki-taki. And then you can see these creatures or if you guys want to render your own creatures, we'd love to see what you think these guys look like too. That would be really fun.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But anyway, let me finish talking about podbean.com because I have one more really important thing I need to say about that. As you guys know, we have a little button you can click in the upper right-hand corner that says become a patron today.
Yay.
So it is because of patrons that we can do this podcast for you guys. Mm-hmm. So think about becoming a patron today so we can keep this going well into the future. We're close to 100 episodes, you guys. So we're getting there.
Right around the corner.
I know, it's right around the corner. So anyway, think about becoming a patron today. We would love to have you join our little patron army. We will send you things. We will give you shout out. You do get patron exclusive episodes. So more of us.
Whee!
Because who doesn't want more of us?
I like me.
I like you too. You're a lot of fun. Yay. Okay. So that is it for this part of our show.
Time.
Yeah, that's it for story time. Again, Mini Washitu is my favorite for today.
Yeah.
But I do love Bigfoot in a top hat. He looks so dapper. He's very handsome.
I love it.
All right. But we do have one more thing to do. Yes. So let's jump into it. It is movie time.
Movie time. This week's movie review, The Mist, released in 2007, IMDb rating of 7.1 stars. You hear my mystifying
I know, you're surprised by that. What?
And synopsis. A freak storm unleashes a species of bloodthirsty creatures on a small town where a small band of citizens hole up in a supermarket and fight for their lives. So yeah, this was a novella by Stephen King. Mm-hmm. If you're a big fan like I am, I'm sure you've read it. And you know that, I'm sure.
The book is always better.
Book almost is always better. I think there are like very few Stephen King movies that translated okay. Mm-hmm. But like 1408 was a very mini story.
1408 was great. Yeah. I like that movie a lot.
I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah, they did a great job on that. I haven't read the novella, but like,
yeah,
that was a great movie.
It was a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
The Shining, which you didn't like so much, the book was way better.
Yeah, just because I don't like it when they make women so wimpy. That was upsetting and frustrating. And he was just mean to her the whole time.
You know, she plays olive oil, so
yeah, I know.
So that's all I saw of that too. But anyway, So The Mist. Spoiler alerts, because we're going to talk a lot about this. So yeah, it's basically that. How much can you do when it's a very short book about monsters in a mist coming out and attacking people in a supermarket? So yeah, it's crazy.
I feel like they could have done a better job. I don't know. I'm going to say a lot of things. I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, I thought I saw this movie when it came out.
Right.
And then as I was watching it, like parts of it were familiar, but I was like, I don't remember seeing the creatures.
Right.
I don't remember. There were like parts in the movie where I'm like, I don't remember that happening. I don't remember that happening. I'm like, maybe I didn't see this movie. So what I think happened, we discussed this before recording, that there was a TV show.
Yes. that was released later, like 10 years later.
Yeah, that was released later. And so I think I saw parts of that show because that seemed a lot more familiar to me. I don't think I watched the whole series, but I think I watched part of it. But then I also think that I saw it get made fun of, like on SNL or something, or wherever, I don't know. But I feel like I got it made fun of because I remember people going, "Oh no, it's the mist, it's the mist," and like being terrified of mist. Yeah.
Which I was trying to convince her that was most likely The Happening, because that movie is terrible and that's very similar to that.
Yeah, but I definitely haven't seen The Happening. But anyway, I don't even know what that is.
You don't need to. Spoiler alert, you don't need to.
You don't need to.
Yes, this movie, did you get the common theme that humans are more monsters, just like other horror movies do that?
Well, yeah. So, okay. Yes. So I'm going to spoil it for you guys. If you've seen The Mist, then you know already. But again, this movie is, how old is this movie?
2007.
Okay. So it can not drink yet.
Not yet.
Oh, well, that's okay. I'm going to spoil it anyway. Okay. So,
yeah.
I feel like a lot of things in this movie were just forced.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was overacted.
And they threw in things that you're like, oh, this is such a cliche, and didn't have to go this way, but the cliches helped unfold some things.
The cliches made it maddening.
Yes.
I feel like it could have been such a better movie if people were normal and not way over the top.
Oh, so over the top.
So over the top and overreacting.
Yeah.
To everything.
I love the lawyer who is also in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Andrew Brower,
yes,
rest in peace.
Yes. And how, you're just trying to, you small folk are trying to play tricks on me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. And then they go out into the mist and die.
Yeah, because they're dumb.
They're dumb.
Well, he didn't die immediately. They found him and then he died.
Yeah.
But so it's so frustrating.
It's very frustrating. And the religion aspect of it.
That was really frustrating. Marcia Gay Harden. Yeah, she was good.
She did great.
She's
at
a
her
great
role.
actress.
Yeah.
She was so good. I hate that character.
Yes.
And then also, they're just like, okay. So the military supposedly opens this portal, and that's why the mist is there. To a different dimension.
That's like full of monsters.
Yeah. So they decide to kill an innocent guy. Because the military guy, the one military guy that was still there.
No. Yeah, you're jumping ahead. Yeah,
I know. I'm jumping ahead.
They convinced.
I'm telling all of the things that I'm mad about.
Okay. So just to give you a really quick recap, if you don't have to watch it, don't. So somehow at nighttime, these big mosquito bugs are attracted to the lights that they have in the supermarket, right? So they get in, they start attacking everybody. It lands on Marcia and doesn't attack her. So she thinks she's chosen, that God is,
so
punishing everybody.
So she thinks that now here's what I hate about this. Okay. So she thinks that this is apocalypse, right? Mm-hmm. That these are the plagues and these are the trials that happen before the apocalypse, right? And so that's what she believes is going on. And she talks about God being a very vengeful and
to smite everybody that doesn't believe in him.
Vengeful and rageful God. And so I'm like, well, you're skipping the whole Jesus part of it, but whatever, that's fine. So she starts, she eventually does convince these people. But once the military guy was like, oh no, we did this. How are they still like, it's God?
Right? No, it's him because he brought it in.
He was the harbinger of God
of
whatever. I don't know, whatever.
And they kill him.
Yeah, they kill him because they just blame him. Well, you're in the military. He had nothing to do with it. He heard.
It was so brutal.
Yeah, he's like, well, I heard things about this, but none of it was his decision. He wasn't really any part of it. He was adjacent to what was happening, but had absolutely no control or no say in what was going on. He just was kind of there. So it's just like, if you think about it this way, if there's like this big evil corporation that is planning on doing something and you're the janitor and they kill you because you were the janitor that was there at this big evil corporation. That was kind of, not that he was a janitor. He was part of the military, but he had absolutely nothing to do with what was going on, and they kill him for it.
And they kill him. And they sacrifice him to the monster.
Yes, because they have to make a sacrifice because God wants a blood sacrifice every day. It's so frustrating.
So the sane people are trying to escape later that night, and they stop them. And then the lady's like, "We want your child." Like,
yeah, they want to kill the boy.
What is that? So
like, she's evil.
She's very evil. The store clerk ends up shooting her, which helped a lot. And I was like, good job, store clerk.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for some sanity there for that moment of sanity.
He obviously feels bad for blood on his hands. Anyway, it's crazy. It's so crazy. It's bonkers. And what I hate the worst is the ending.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, this is so stupid.
Trigger warnings up and down, left and right. When I read about it, they're like, oh, this is such a horror, the one of the most shocking, awesomest horror endings. I was like, no, it's not. Like,
it's insanely sad.
It's just so sad to the point where it's unnecessary.
It's the most unnecessary thing.
So in the
ever. It's so upsetting.
Yeah, in the short story.
Does that happen in
No.
Oh God.
They changed the ending. The ending in the short story, if you want to read it, is basically the dad and the kid just going different places and going, oh, let's go drive to another place and try to figure out what's going on. And it just kind of leaves in a mystery.
Oh, so they leave.
They're able to leave.
It's able, but you don't know what happens
still.
to them.
We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen to them. And so it's kind of left up in the air, which I think is fine.
That's the better way to end it. Yes. Leave it up in the air. They escape, they leave.
And they just don't know what to do now in this crazy new world.
Yeah.
This ending, oh my God. I don't even want to tell you guys because it's terrible. But basically he ends up offing everybody because
they only have 4 bullets and there's 5. They run out of gas.
Yes, they run out of gas.
And they're stuck in the mist.
And there's 5 people in this car with his little boy.
Oh,
and he did find his wife and she's dead. Okay. Yeah. So whatever. And they're like, they think to shoot themselves because they don't want to be eaten by these monsters.
Yeah.
Which is the dumbest thing in the world. I'm like, why don't you just try to hole up in your car as long as you can?
Yeah. Wait until you're under attack. And then if somebody is being attacked, then you shoot them.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the safest thing in the world, right?
Right. That's what you do.
He offs everybody.
Wait it out because you don't know because here's the prime example of it. You don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know. I'm so mad.
So you sit there and you wait it on the car because, of course, 2 seconds after he offs everybody,
he gets out of the car,
screaming,
like, "Come get me!" And then the military
comes and the mist rolls away,
and you see them shooting and killing every creature they can find.
Yeah. And then you didn't think
that was going to happen.
Carloads of safe people. And, yeah.
Oh, and the lady in the beginning who goes out to get her kids, and she's like, no one's going to help me. And she goes on her own. She's in the truck with her kids.
Oh my God.
Do you remember that part?
I don't. I did probably was crocheting. That's probably, I'm not going to look at that so mad.
She was able to escape just fine, and she had her kids at the end. And I was so mad. I was so mad at this movie.
Well, she goes off and kills zombies later. That's Carol.
That's right.
Yeah. And
she's badass. Anyway.
She is.
Okay, so how many stitches would you give?
It's maddening. I definitely won't give it 7. I mean, it's out of cinematic movie. Like, it's a good movie.
It did have some good. The
monsters are
CGI.
Cool.
It looks pretty real.
It's a good movie. The way that it's put together.
Yes,
it's good. But the story
thematic retelling of this.
It's over dramatic. Yeah. It's overdone. The stereotypes are just way, way, way huge.
It's insane, right?
I got a kick out of thinking about how they are just reacting to nothing and how big their reactions are to nothing.
Right.
I'm like, when they're in, I just put myself in the real world and they're action and freaking out over nothing.
I forgot what made me mad at the beginning was when they were joking at the guy. You didn't hear anything. It's okay. We can go outside. And he's like, no, I heard something.
Yeah.
And then the guy dies.
Yeah. Yeah. They open the door. He's like, no, don't open the door. And they're like, meh.
Oh, you're just scared of nothing.
Yeah. And then the
kid dies.
And then he's like, I'm sorry.
You got your blood on my hand.
Yeah. Oh and then Andre Brower wouldn't
believe it.
The chopped off. I'm like, they have a piece of this creature.
And he's like, you can't convince me. I'm like, yeah, you could if you just follow them, just humor them for like a second.
Look at the blood. I'm like, you're a lawyer. You're evidence based. Go check out the evidence. Or is he a judge or something?
He's a
whatever.
lawyer.
So like, there's evidence. Go look.
Go look.
Yeah. They're like, you spread pig's blood everywhere. I'm like, where are they getting pig's blood? I guess maybe there's a butcher there, but
even there, no, it'd be frozen meat that doesn't have like.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway. How many
stitches?
So
we are frustrated with this movie. I can't tell. So I'm going to 3. 3 stitches.
Yeah. Because it looked okay.
Yeah. Because the movie aspect of it, it was good.
Yeah.
Like the monsters were seamless. They were scary. They were real.
It was pretty freaky. It was believable in a way. Like, yeah.
I liked the monsters.
Yeah. I liked the really big one at the end.
Yes. He was creepy.
Yeah. It was
cool. I liked the monsters.
Yeah. Good.
That part of the movie was
everybody.
great.
Good job, CGI team. You did your job.
The human aspect of the story, not so much.
Terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, I give it 3 too. I'll tie you up with that.
Yay!
Yeah. Something to be happy
so
about.
We're keeping our streak of we hate the movies and.
Oh man,
I love
so funny
this.
because I was like, oh, I remember The Mist. I remember why didn't I like it? Because I watched it a while ago, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I hated it. Brought back memories.
That reminds me of like, so Kenny Rogers Roasters. Do you remember Kenny Rogers Roasters? Have you ever heard of that? So it's Kenny Rogers, and he had this like barbecue place. And when I was in college, I had friends that lived in Vegas, so we would go to their house in Vegas and then, be in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we would go to Kenny Rogers Roasters. And the first time we went there, I got the potato salad. And I ate the potato salad and I didn't like it because it was very like creamy and it didn't have the vinegar. I don't like that. Yeah, I like the vinegar.
Me too. Like mustard potato salad's my favorite. Actually.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. But this wasn't that. It was just like gross. Almost buttery, creamy.
No. That's like mashed potatoes almost.
Yeah, it was not
cold mashed potatoes. Blech.
It was not what I liked. In my potato salad. A year later, we go back and we go to Kenny Rogers Roasters, and I was like, oh, potato salad. I remember. I had the potato salad.
But you didn't remember?
I didn't remember not liking it.
No!
So I got it again. So that's like same thing.
That's how it felt. Dang it, you fooled me.
Oh, The Mist.
Stephen King.
Got you again.
Yeah, man.
Well, you like Stephen King.
I love Stephen King.
Yeah.
I don't like The Mist.
Yeah.
Movie.
The movie.
Yeah.
Terrible movie.
Terrible.
Well, if you didn't like it, let us know. No.
Or if you did like it, let us know. Tell us why.
We're wrong. Yeah. Oh man, what another fun episode. I'm so excited to continue on this road trip and keep going with you guys.
Yes, this is going to be so much fun.
So until next time, get your travel pants on and we will see you stitchers.
See you stitchers.